say, do you have a new hello this time?
Yeah, I couldn't come up with nothing.
So,
I say like,
howdy.
hi, howdy, sup over there.
Ni hao.
So welcome to another episode of Dark Dialogue Shadow Chat Sessions.
Did you
Hi.
catch that?
No, what did you
It's
say?
hello in Chinese. Ni hao.
How the hell would I catch that? I wouldn't know that.
But I was speaking a different language. You didn't even blink. That's how weird I am. He doesn't even blink.
Well, you make all kinds of weird noises and sounds and stuff over there. I wouldn't know. It was foreign languages, or you stubbed your toe, or what the hell is going on?
What is happening with her?
So, anyway, how's things going?
They're okay. How are you?
I'm good.
Or in Chinese, ni hao ma.
I don't know. I don't know nothing about that. But it's weird. I mean, here we are. What is it, like the end of January, and it's like freaking t-shirt weather in Wyoming.
Don't scare it away.
No, I want to scare it away. You know how freaking dry this summer's gonna be?
True. I'm hearing the mountains are getting a lot, though.
I hope they're getting a hell of a lot, because this is crazy.
Yeah.
I don't like the cold, but we need some snow. So
Not on the road. Just figure out how it cannot accumulate on the road, and I'll be very happy girl.
yeah, so when I would live in Colorado, and I worked as an electrician. I ran business and stuff down there, and I was called up to this house one time up on the mountains, and there's a lot of very wealthy people that live up out of Boulder. And so this guy had like a 2.5 mile long driveway, and it was heated.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was slick as crap getting up the mountain and everything.
Dirty.
And I was thinking, how the hell am I going to get down this guy's freaking driveway? It was like 2 foot of snow, and, you know, the highway had been plowed, but I was thinking, how am I even going to get to this guy's house? And I pull in there, and it was freaking not any snow. And I was like, how in the hell, even when you plow a road?
Yeah.
And so when I get there, I was like, how in the hell? And he's like, oh yeah, it's heated. He had like, I don't remember how many massive boilers to heat 2.5 miles worth of driveway. I can't even.
You need a niece, because I'm accepting applications for uncles.
Yeah, he was. It was a trip, man. He was. Yeah, wow.
Yeah. I wonder constantly how I'm going to get up and down the driveway, but that's just because it's
Wyoming, and you're not
Wyoming.
freaking unbelievably wealthy. This is the same guy who was, and I was like, I think this guy's full of crap. I think he's lying to me, because he was always telling me about how he's meeting with the Denver Broncos and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, okay. And then I was working at his house, and all these vehicles pull in the drive, and I turn around, and John Elway's walking into his house. And I was like, guess he was.
okay. You're not lying to me anymore.
Yeah, because it was like inventing this thing that, I don't know, something with water and some
Vague of you.
it was like he'd like water the fields, and then it would create like this power water that the athletes could drink, and I don't freaking know. I thought the guy was a whack job, and then John Elway showed up, and I was like, okay,
All
well,
right then.
apparently you shouldn't judge a book by its cover.
This is true.
I mean, it was like a 12,000 square foot house, so it obviously had money.
With
but
a heated driveway.
Well, this was a different house.
Oh.
He actually sold that house and then hired me to rewire this other house. But yeah, it was very interesting. It was an interesting time. So, but with that, you ready to jump, dive, slither, roll, crawl into this episode of Dark Dialogue?
Let's do it.
All right, perfect. Well, before we get started, I just want to remind the listeners, if you like what we do and how we do it, please give us a like, give us a follow, leave us a review, share the episode, hit the bell, do all the things that really help us.
All the things.
All the things. So with that, you ready for the strange headline segment?
Of course.
This is quite the strange headline segment. Dead Thai woman sent to the crematorium wakes up in a coffin.
Oh, that poor person.
Yeah. So a 65-year-old woman.
Actually, poor everyone involved, because wow.
Yeah. A 65-year-old woman in Thailand, believed dead after appearing to stop breathing, was transported in a coffin to a Buddhist temple near Bangkok for cremation. Moments before the cremation was set to begin, temple staff heard knocking from inside the coffin. They opened it and found the woman alive, eyes opening, tapping the inside, triggering the emergency response and a swift trip to the hospital. So, the details are Tuesday, November 25th, 2025, not 1825.
Oh,
the woman had been presumed dead for 2 days. Her family, convinced that they were transporting her body, traveled hundreds of miles with her in a coffin to it's either Wat Rack. I'm doing my best here. You're the one who speaks Chinese. You should be reading this shit.
This is Thai. This is different.
Wat Rat Prak Hong Thom, or Wat Rat Prak Hong Thom. W-A-T-R-A-T, Wat Rat, or Wat Rat, Prakong, P-R-A-K-H-O-N-G, T-H-A-M, whatever. A Buddhist temple on the outskirts of Bangkok to carry out cremation preparations. This is already grim, but it gets worse in a very specific way. As temple staff prepared for the cremation, the temple manager, Pyrat Sudthup, said that he heard faint knocking coming from inside the coffin just moments before the ceremony was set to begin. He described being surprised, ordering the coffin opened and everyone present reacting in shock. When the lid came off, he said he saw the woman opening her eyes slightly and knocking on the inside of the coffin. His description strongly implied...
Just calmly knocking?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Strongly implied that she had been trying to signal for some time, meaning she may have been conscious, trapped, and unheard while the family and the staff moved forward under the assumption that she was dead. Emergency workers were called. The woman was taken to a hospital for treatment and evaluation. One final detail makes the scenario feel even more surreal. The temple reportedly planned to live stream the cremation.
Oh my.
In other words, if the knocking hadn't been heard in time, this could have been a live broadcast of a catastrophic error, prevented by what amounts to an instinctual, wait, did the coffin just knock? A story like this inevitably raises uncomfortable questions about end-of-life confirmation, medical oversight, and the reliability of appeared to stop breathing
in 2020
as a determination of death, particularly when transport and ceremonial timelines move faster than clinical certainty. So, my take.
I can't wait.
This is nightmare fuel in its purest form.
Yes.
Because it's not supernatural, it's procedural. People love ghost stories, fine, but this is the horror of paperwork, assumptions, and momentum. Once a group of adults decides this person's dead, everything becomes a conveyor belt. Someone calls someone signs something, someone schedules something, and the next thing you know, a living human being is sealed inside a coffin while everyone focuses on logistics. And the detail that gets me is the knocking, because knocking is just a simple human signal. It's the universal, hey, wrong room, and it almost didn't matter. If one guy didn't pause long enough to ask, did I just hear that? This becomes a story nobody ever tells because the process would have completed. Also, the cremation was going to be live streamed, which means the modern world has finally achieved peak absurdity. Even death has to be content. So, I
can't.
I mean,
live streamed cremation.
That part almost gets me more than the rest. Who the would want to watch that?
Exactly. And this is going to sound morbid, but I made it in the utmost respect. When you stream such things, it's blurred anyway. So why are we streaming it?
Well, I don't think anything in this would have been blurred because you're I mean, literally, is all you see is a coffin going in,
Oy.
and then the door shuts, and then ashes come out. I mean, of course, I don't know how they cremate bodies in Thailand.
Yeah.
I apparently don't know how they confirm death in Thailand either, and I don't know that they know.
Exactly. I was just about to say, do they know how to confirm? Oh, the 2025.
Yeah, it was like
2 months ago.
it was freaking Thanksgiving. So what's
Screaming into the mic. I'm sorry.
what safeguards should exist clinically and legally before a body is released for cremation?
Are we not checking vitals? Are
See,
we not?
I don't.
Did her heart not beat for 2 days?
I don't think that this could happen in the United States at this point in our history. I know that this shit happened because I've heard horror stories.
Is this a religion thing where like they can't use?
I don't know enough about Buddhists, but I do know that in the United States, and I think we talked about this at some point, the funeral home in freaking Colorado that was returned to nature where they didn't like embalm you and everything. But I'm pretty sure most states have a law that says a coroner has to confirm death, which that's a bit questionable because a coroner could be cousin Bob, who got elected from bartender to coroner. That part never makes any sense to me.
It's your turn.
Whatever. But still, we do have processes in place. And but for me, I'm like, embalm me, because even if I don't give a shit, which I really don't, but I do want to make sure I'm dead. So once you take all my fluids out and replace them with whatever the hell they pump in you, at least you're certain you're not waking up in that box.
Yeah.
But wow. Is this primarily a medical failure, a procedural failure, or an infrastructure issue?
This is a catastrophic failure of great proportions.
Yeah.
You can't define the type of failure this is.
I mean, in this day and age, and with all the shit that has happened, and I've never been to Thailand. I don't know really much about Thailand, but the fact that you will cremate a box that's brought to you without confirming what's in it is concerning to me. Like, for no other reason than like safety. What if somebody has a thing against Buddhists and so they fill a coffin full of, I don't know, dynamite or some shit?
Exactly.
You would think that they would open the box, and again, I don't know anything about...
I really hope this starts a whole set of new protocols.
Yeah. And again, I don't know anything about Buddhism, really very little at all, but I don't know, it strikes me as odd that it's a religious ceremony. I would have assumed that they would have like anointed the body. Yeah. Like did some things, opened the box. I don't know.
Also strikes me as odd that they would show it because they seem private. Like that would be a private spiritual thing.
Yeah, and Buddhism always is kind of like very traditional. That seems like it anyway.
Yeah, to me, it feels like that. I don't know.
So if you were the family, how do you psychologically recover from the fact that you were minutes away from cremating a living relative?
How do I psychologically recover from knowing this happened and I'm not related?
I don't know. Ooh. You ready to move on to the conspiracy corner?
Let's please, because this is going to haunt me. Like they say, new fear unlocked.
Yeah, it's a freaking, it definitely fits in the strange headline segment.
Yes, it does.
Say that. Okay.
I am so sorry to that family.
Yeah, man, me too. Okay, conspiracy corner.
Oh, yes.
Avril Lavigne replacement theory. Melissa took over.
Yep.
A long-running internet conspiracy claims that Canadian singer Avril Lavigne died by suicide in 2003 and was secretly replaced by a body double named Melissa Vandella. Believers point to changes in Avril's appearance, alleged subliminal messages in her second album, Under My Skin, and the photo shoot where Melissa appears written on her hand. The theory originated online, went viral in 2017, and has been repeatedly denied by Lavigne herself, yet refuses to die. The Avril is dead narrative traces back to a 2011 Brazilian blog titled Avril está muerta, which means Avril is dead. The post, later acknowledged by its creator as a demonstration of how conspiracy theories can be made to look convincing, argued that the pressure of sudden fame after Let Go in 2002, combined with personal grief, led to Avril's death shortly after her debut era. According to the theory, a lookalike named Melissa had already been hired to divert paparazzi while Avril sought privacy. After the alleged death, the story goes, record executives buried the news and installed Melissa as Avril's replacement to protect profits. From that point on, every album, tour, and appearance would be Melissa performing as Avril.
Wow.
Evidence circulated online includes personal differences. Over time, moles appearing and disappearing, facial features changing, stylistic shifts in fashion, posture, and handwriting, subliminal messages, allegedly embedded in Under My Skin and related lyrics. A photo shoot where Melissa appears written on April's hand claims that guilt over the switch leaked into lyrics and artwork. The theory gained broader traction in 2015 to 2017 when a viral Twitter thread repackaged the claims for a new audience, racking up hundreds of thousands of retweets. It also spawned a meme format, side-by-side photos labeled a conspiracy theory thread, asserting that a celebrity had died had been replaced. Despite the momentum, the theory has a problem. Avril Lavigne is very much alive and has denied it repeatedly. On Brazilian TV in 2014, during a Facebook Live in 2017, quote, "No, I'm not dead, I'm here."
Yeah.
And in multiple interviews afterward, calling it, quote, "a dumb internet rumor," and expressing disbelief that anyone bought into it. Even the original blog's creator later apologized and clarified the post was meant to illustrate how conspiracies gain credibility, not to assert any kind of a real claim. Still, the idea persists, fueled by confirmation bias, image comparisons across decades, and the internet's appetite for pulp culture mysteries. My take? This conspiracy is fascinating not because it's plausible, but because it's perfectly engineered for the internet. Pop stars change, styles evolve, cameras, makeup, lighting, and surgery exist.
Yeah.
And yet, if you start with the conclusion she was replaced, you can make any difference feel like proof.
Yeah.
That's the trick. Once the frame is set, every detail becomes a clue. And what really keeps this alive isn't evidence, it's nostalgia plus discomfort. People don't like admitting that time passes, artists grow up, and eras end. So the brain reaches for something cleaner. The old version died. This is fake.
Yeah.
Also, let's be honest, if a global record label could secretly replace a superstar and maintain the illusion flawlessly for decades, the music industry would be terrifyingly competent. And it's not.
Well, and she's not the only one.
No, it was Paul McCartney. We covered that in a couple episodes. I mean, it's over and over.
I'm so sick of the celebrity death hoaxes. Sick of it.
I'm sick of all of this nonsense. And I didn't even know who this girl was until...
I can tell because it's Avril,
whatever.
I was just letting you because people comment and, oh well.
The only reason that I even have any kind of a clue about who she is there is a song on a Criminal Minds episode where a victim is playing guitar, and
it's her song.
It's a really catchy freaking song, and I really liked it. And so I wanted to find the music to it so I could play it.
Yeah.
And I ended up searching up the song, and it was one of her songs. And I was like, I don't know who this chick is, but the song's good. And then I checked out some of her other stuff, and I was like, apparently she only had one good song. So there's that.
There's a few. And she was married to Nickelback's lead singer guy.
I have no clue.
All of a sudden can't remember his name.
No clue. I have no idea about any of that. But so why do replacement conspiracies stick harder to pop stars than any other public figures?
Creep value.
You know, I really think that it's the fact that it hurts when they die.
Yeah.
Like,
does.
I mean, yeah.
Is Ozzy going to be replaced now?
No, but Ozzy lasted, I don't know how old Avril? I don't know how old Avril was when she supposedly died, Ozzy was like 80.
Like her early 20s, I think.
So
she was young.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty hard. And we all watched him succumb to Parkinson's in a very public way.
But if anybody's coming back,
it'd be Ozzy.
It'd be Ozzy. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
He's haunting somebody, I'm sure.
Well, I've pretty much come to the conclusion that Keith Richards is the undead.
Right.
So, yeah.
That man drinks formaldehyde, I'm sure.
I think he's done every drug and smoked everything and drank everything he possibly could. So, yeah. But anyway, I think that it's because we really get attached to those pop stars. Yeah. And it's not like politicians, like presidents come and go and then they die. Or
people said that about Biden. People said that Biden died and there was a replacement. Did you not hear that?
Oh, yeah. I heard it everywhere.
You're
but
looking at me like I know something political you don't know, and I was about to leave this room.
Oh, no. I know all about it. But
I'm going to think you've been replaced.
The thing about that whole thing is it was a wider conspiracy on the whole stolen election, and it was all orchestrated, and that had to fit in there somewhere, and all that kind of stuff. But it wasn't like...
I actually heard the words Biden suit.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you kidding me? And I put some colorful words in there, but what?
Yeah, I mean, that was a pretty big conspiracy theory. It'll probably find its way on this show at some point. But it wasn't because we didn't want him to die. Well, I mean, that could be taken completely wrong, but it was not because we were like so emotionally attached to Joe Biden that we couldn't imagine him dying.
Right. It was to figure out what was wrong with him, is what I'm understanding.
Well, no, it was the idea that the government was actually a substitute government and it was all a big show. And we'll get into it one day, I promise. Okay. But, compare that to Elvis Presley. I mean, everybody was just enamored with him, especially young girls at the time, and was absolutely in love with him. And he died relatively young, not like 20s
like
young,
47 or something?
Something like that. But, everybody's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he died.
Mm-hmm.
And then so they didn't want to face the fact that he had died. And I think that has a lot to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just more with, I don't know, I think it's more with musicians than anything.
It does seem that way. There's a few actors, but it's a lot of musicians.
And I really think that a lot of it is music speaks to us in a way that other media doesn't.
Yeah.
And so when you lose that, and I think it's still the way, but definitely when we were kids and we were growing up, music was what took you through like the hard times in life. It still is for me. Like if I'm having a terrible day or something, I can crank up some metal, and it speaks to your soul in a way that when you lose that connection, it's hard to face, man. It really is. I was super bummed about Ozzy's death, even though
he hadn't done anything for so long.
Well, and even though he was old and he had Parkinson's, and we all knew it was coming.
He was suffering, and
but still, it's like, damn, what a bummer. Yeah. Like when Prince died, it was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I just don't have that same feeling when other like popular people, I don't see that really.
I kind of do. Like Robin Williams about killed me.
Well, I think maybe, and I'm just spitballing, but part of that might be the way that he died.
Yeah. Well, and Matthew Perry, that one hurt too.
Yeah. It's for me, it's just not the same with actors as it is with musicians.
Yeah, I think it is more. I mean, I get lost in music, but I get lost in movies too.
Right. Yeah.
So
what's more convincing to people online? Documentation or side-by-side photos with arrows?
Side-by-side photos with arrows.
100%.
Are you kidding?
So, which modern artist?
Arrows, specifically.
Well, yeah, I mean, or red question marks.
Yes.
It's like,
it has to be red.
That one.
Yeah, that totally means.
It means it's
if
proven.
That question mark was gone, I wouldn't believe it.
Exactly. So which modern artist do you think would be the next target of a replaced by a double theory?
Oh, man. Billie Eilish.
I don't know who that is.
Well, they claim that she's in the Illuminati, and I heard rumors that a lot of that are supposedly replaced are Illuminati related, or the what is that Diamond Dallas Page theory with the diamond?
Yeah, it's something about like pedophiles and stuff.
Yeah, if
like
they hold their hands up in a diamond shape, they're part of that.
Yeah, it's like the big.
Thing.
I think that it's like the big pedophile ring, the whole Pizzagate theory, the whole. I
don't know if that's all
adrenochrome thing.
But
which there's some shit to that.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be a whole episode on its own. But that whole adrenochrome thing,
we're gonna have to branch out.
It is a real thing.
But I think, I mean, the very first thing, and I love Billie Eilish, but I think the very first thing that came to mind was Billie, because everybody thinks she's in the Illuminati.
I don't know what that is, so sorry.
I love
you. Know me and pop culture.
Yeah.
We don't get along. Are you ready for the Reddit rabbit hole?
Yeah.
When the internet put on a horse head and never took it off.
What?
The shit that I find on Reddit.
What?
So our HorseMask is a niche but deeply committed Reddit community dedicated to one thing: people wearing hyper-realistic horse masks in situations that range from mildly funny to profoundly unsettling. Members share photos and videos of themselves and friends doing everyday activities, public stunts, and elaborate bits while wearing oversized horse heads. The stranger the scenario, the better.
Is this how the furry community started?
I don't know. What began as a novelty humor has evolved into a shared performance art space where absurdity is the point. So, at first glance, our HorseMask looks like a joke subreddit that should have burned out in a week, and it didn't. It calcified. The community revolves around realistic latex horse masks, the kind with glassy eyes, flared nostrils, and teeth that feel a little too detailed for comfort. Users post themselves wearing these masks in increasingly bizarre contexts, at parties, in public spaces, posing for intentionally awkward photos, or standing silently in places where a horse should never be. And then it escalates. There are staged glamour shots that parody modeling culture. There are public scare bits where masked users casually walk through parks or streets, committing the cardinal sin of acting like nothing is wrong. There are posts where users interact with real horses, standing side by side, staring contests included,
Poor real horses,
creating an uncanny moment where even the animals seem unsure how to process just what they're seeing.
Exactly.
The subreddit thrives on commitment. Low effort posts don't survive long. What the community rewards is conceptual weirdness, fully committing to the bit, maintaining deadpan seriousness, and placing the masks in contexts that force viewers to do a double take. And then there's the video.
Oh no.
Buried in the subreddit's lore.
Are you showing me the video?
No.
That picture was unsettling. Thank you.
Buried in the subreddit's lore is a clip of a man abseiling down the side of a building while wearing a horse mask and pretending to ride a tricycle, complete with invisible handlebars and exaggerated pedaling motions. It's pointless. It is dangerous. It is performed with absolute sincerity, and it is somehow peak our HorseMask. The comments don't ask why, they ask how and what rope rating did they use. What makes our HorseMask fascinating isn't just the imagery, it's the culture. The subreddit operates on an unspoken rule: don't explain the joke. The humor comes from treating the HorseMask as normal, even when everything else clearly isn't. The longer the bit is sustained without acknowledgement, the stronger it lands. It's internet surrealism powered by latex and collective commitment. My take? This is what happens when humans discover anonymity and disposable income at the same time. Because the HorseMask itself is not funny, it's unsettling. What makes it funny is the confidence. These people aren't giggling. They're not winking at the camera. They're saying, yes, I'm a horse. This is happening. Continue. And once everyone agrees not to blink first, you get a man rappelling down a building while fake peddling nothing. There's also something oddly wholesome about it. No politics, no outrage, no manifesto, just a bunch of adults putting on horse heads and trying to weird out each other for the joy of it. That said, whoever invented the realistic horse mask owes society at least one apology letter.
Starting with me, info@darkdialogue.com. I did not know that something could edge out. It's not edged out because dolls can F right off, but it's working its way up there with that whole creepy doll shit. What?
I mean, the whole thing, it's all I could think about is that scene in The Godfather where the dude wakes up with the horse's head in the bed. It's so freaking strange to me.
Oh my God.
Why is a horse mask specifically more unsettling than any other animal masks?
Oh, I don't know that it is to me, so I can't answer that.
I think it's because of the freaking Godfather scene where the dude wakes up with the head in the bed.
It's true. It's true.
I mean,
realistic animal masks just terrify. Like, why? Why are we Okay, I said the furry community a minute ago, and I have to backtrack that. That's not the same because they're dressed up like stuffed animals. Some of them are beautiful. I'm not going to judge it. I don't understand it. To each their own. I don't want to judge this particular story you're telling either, but I have to because it's creeping me out.
Yeah, I'm not as kind as you.
I know.
I have no problem saying the furry shit is weird, and so is this. It's freaking weird.
It's weird, but it's to each their own in their weirdness if they're not hurting anybody, which I'm trying to think about this horse head thing too, but...
So is our horse mask performance art, absurdist comedy, or a social experiment?
People got together and decided how they could creep Angela out.
It's just weird shit that goes on these days.
Oh my God.
People with too much disposable income.
Is there no sexual element to it?
Not that I could find.
Well, thank goodness for small favors.
At what point does committing to a bit become a lifestyle choice?
I don't know.
I mean, for me, it all comes down to what I've said over and over again.
Too much money and too much time.
No, I don't understand the whole social media, TikTok video, Facebook post, reel thing culture. I don't get this shit. I do not understand why you do dumb shit so that a lot of people watch you do dumb shit.
It started with Jackass. Do you know how much money those people made? It's money.
I do know. They made a lot of freaking money, but
money driven.
I know, but it doesn't mean I understand.
I don't understand it either, but that is where it is.
All right, you ready for a Dipshit's Diary?
Get it? Yeah. Okay. Does it get worse, really?
Dipshit Diaries.
Man steals truck full of sports cars just to get home. An Arizona man, fresh out of prison, allegedly stole...
Was he wearing lemon juice?
No.
Damn it.
Fresh out of prison, allegedly stole a tractor trailer loaded with 10 brand new Chevy Corvette C8s worth over $1.25 million, claiming he just needed a ride home.
He had to go home.
Authorities were unimpressed by the explanation, especially after the theft involved throwing a truck driver out of the cab and leading police on a reckless drive. According to the Cochise County Sheriff's Office, the incident began at a truck stop in Wilcox, Arizona, where 23-year-old Isaiah Walker, visiting from Oklahoma, struck up a casual conversation with a tractor-trailer driver. Walker reportedly asked about the cargo, 10 shiny, high-end Chevy Corvette C8s, and, in the words of law enforcement, quote, lulled the victim into a sense of security. That sense of security ended abruptly when Walker allegedly grabbed the driver and threw him out of the cab and then climbed in and drove off with the entire rig. The value of the stolen cargo, more than $1.25 million. The stated
Did we say felony?
The stated reason for the theft? Transportation. A Cochise County Sheriff's deputy soon spotted the stolen truck and attempted a traffic stop. Walker did not comply. Instead, the sheriff's office says the truck was driven recklessly, forcing other vehicles off the roadway and turning what was already a felony buffet into a public safety hazard. Eventually, Walker stopped the truck and was taken into custody by the deputy, assisted by a Wilcox police officer. The Corvettes were recovered without damage, and the original driver was able to continue the delivery, presumably after a very long moment of reflection. Walker was arrested and charged with robbery, 11 counts of theft of means of transportation, and felony theft. When questioned, Walker admitted to stealing the truck but insisted the Corvettes were not the motivation. According to the authorities, he explained that he had just been released from prison and he needed a truck to get home. Duh. Not a bus, not a rideshare, a tractor trailer full of Corvettes. My take? This is what happens when I need a ride meets absolutely no internal filter. Look, I get it. Re-entry into society can be hard. Transportation is a challenge, but most people solve that with a phone call, a bus ticket, or maybe stealing a bicycle if they're really committed to bad decisions. This man skipped all immediate steps and went straight to Grand Theft Auto Corvette Edition. Also, I love the logic that the Corvettes weren't the reason. Sir, you chose the most conspicuous, high-value, law enforcement attracting ride available. If your goal was to get home quietly, you picked the automotive equivalent of wearing a neon sign that says, "Arrest me."
Yes.
On the bright side, at least he didn't damage the cars. That's considerate. Criminal, but considerate. So, if you just need a ride home, what is the worst possible vehicle to steal?
I'm going to say this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like Liberace's getaway plan.
Like, I was listening to a case the other day, and this guy stole like one of those, like bright, I don't know cars, it's not my thing, but like those bright yellow Dodges that came out a few years ago, like
Charger,
the Transformer, and like there's a certain
sorry,
that's okay. There's like a certain brand of like a number that you give cars, and they're like everything is yellow, the mirrors are yellow, everything's yellow. It's like the Transformer, right?
Bumblebee.
Yeah. And so, and I was thinking during that, wow, that's like the most conspicuous freaking vehicle. It does not even come close to this one.
What about the robber in the Barbie Jeep? Like, come on.
Still doesn't come close.
I know. No, it doesn't, but it's just up there. Like,
oh, it's definitely up there.
It's cousins.
Yeah, I mean, you hear those stories and you're like, well, that's pretty conspicuous. But then I mean, like, you compare the number of semis on the road to the number of cars, and you're like, well, there's a whole hell of a lot more cars.
Yeah.
And then you compare the number of semis carrying Corvettes.
Nearly $3 million worth of Corvettes. Yeah.
1.25.
Oh, I thought you said 2 point.
But sorry. Yeah, your point. I mean, Corvettes are freaking expensive.
Yeah.
This is a truck loaded with them.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you pass like all kinds of box trucks and.
I wonder if the driver's changing his job now. Like, I will not carry that many Corvettes ever again.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's looking for a job, because most trucking companies have very hard and fast rules about like hitchhikers and shit. So, of course, I don't know that the guy actually was a hitchhiker. He like hijacked it. Yeah. So I don't know. But does this qualify as optimism, entitlement, or pure post-prison decision fatigue?
I'm going to go with optimism. Just wanted to get home.
Yeah, I mean, totally honest, this guy is he is 23 years old. And I can already say he is a career criminal.
Yeah.
He is going to spend his entire life in prison.
And he's going to find new and colorful ways to get there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So should the Corvettes weren't the reason be accepted as a legal defense?
Yes.
You think so?
I also think the Corvettes should also be discounted now because they've been through so much trauma.
They're probably going to be worth more.
That's true.
Okay. Dipshit Diaries number 2. Florida fugitive hiding in a dryer.
Was he wrinkled?
Well, you tell me.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Florida deputies searching for a shooting suspect received a tip that he was hiding inside a home. After an extensive search, they located the suspect folded into a clothes dryer, where he was removed limb by limb. Law enforcement reports indicate the suspect appeared to believe household appliances double as invisibility cloaks. According to the Escambia County Sheriff's Office in Florida, deputies were searching for 30-year-old David Jerome Jackson, who was wanted in connection with the March 15th shooting incident. Jackson faced multiple serious charges, including shooting into a dwelling, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, damage to property, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. After receiving a tip that Jackson was inside a residence off Edgewater Drive, deputies conducted what they described as an extensive search of the home. Rooms were checked, closets were searched, furniture was examined. Eventually, the search led deputies to the laundry room. There, they discovered Jackson crammed inside a clothes dryer, an appliance the sheriff's office later described as having a, quote, remarkably small dryer drum. How he fit remains unclear. Why he thought this would work remains even less clear. Deputies carefully extracted him one limb at a time as Jackson reportedly clung to what authorities referred to as his, quote, tumble-ready hideout. Once fully removed from the dryer, deputies also recovered 3 dryer sheets, 2 mismatched socks, and a crumbled tissue, along with Jackson himself, who was wearing what officials described as a, quote, surprisingly wrinkled Star Wars shirt.
I can't breathe.
Jackson was taken into custody without further incident. The Escambia County Sheriff's Office.
That's going to become a meme for dryer sheets. I see it now.
Yeah, I mean.
And I'm going to interject here. I've watched all the Harry Potter movies a billion times. Never once have I heard Maytag or Kenmore in any of those smells.
Yeah, no. The Escambia County Sheriff's Office capped off their news release with a final flourish, reminding the public that, quote, as always the case, all suspects are presumed innocent and free of static cling. So, my take, this is what happens when you confuse hide and seek with law enforcement evasion. I don't know who needs to hear this, but if deputies are actively searching a house for you, appliances are not a safe place. They are not invisibility portals. They are not magical pockets of legal immunity. Also, to the mental image here is incredible. This man had time to choose a hiding place, assess his options, and conclude, yes, yeah, the dryer, this will end well. And the deputies pulling him out limb by limb like he's a human light trap, that is cinematic. It's art. Bonus points to the sheriff's office for commenting fully to the dryer-themed press release. If you're going to arrest someone from an appliance, you might as well enjoy it.
Oh my gosh. All I can see is, you know how on the little microphones that has their TV affiliation, all I can see is all of them putting like bounce.
Yeah.
Snuggle.
I mean, this is an actual picture of this guy crammed into this freaking thing. And
oh my gosh.
This is like, first of all, I think he's like a pretty large dude.
Yeah.
And this is just a normal household front load dryer. But the part I notice most about this picture is it's one of the ones that has a window in the freaking door. So this isn't like the old dryers that you don't see when they're going. This is like one of the ones that has the window thing, which it also intrudes into the drum part, which makes the space smaller, but you just have to look in the window to see this dumbass crammed in there.
He thinks he looks like laundry.
Well, he kind of does, but
that's oh my gosh.
So where does hiding in a dryer rank among the worst hiding places of all time?
I can't even take you seriously right now. I would say up there. Yeah.
So do you think
the washer might be a little bit worse?
It might be, yeah. So do you think he believed the dryer was too small to be checked? or he just panicked?
I think he probably did think no one's going to hide in there. He probably thought that.
It had a window in the door. And
just
it had to take time to get into that thing. And did you see how he was folded in there?
Yeah, it made me uncomfortable.
Like, there's no way that was fast.
No. I don't know. I don't know.
So should law enforcement start checking appliances first, or does that encourage escalation?
Apparently microwaves are next, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was a fun one.
Oh my gosh. My cheeks hurt.
Yeah. All right, you ready for number 3?
Mm-hmm.
Dipshit Diaries number 3. Suspect accidentally calls 911 and records his murder plan.
Oh, man.
A Florida man allegedly
Florida!
A Florida man allegedly orchestrated a murder after an argument at a Waffle House. Then inadvertently butt dialed 911, recording himself saying he planned to follow the victim home and kill him. The accidental call became key evidence leading to his arrest on a first-degree murder charge. According to authorities in Oakland Park, Florida, Scott Simon was arrested for his role in the killing of a 33-year-old Nicholas Walker who was shot while driving onto I-95. The case took a turn from tragic to astonishing due to a mistake so basic it feels almost fictional. Simon accidentally called 911, and during the unintended call, dispatchers recorded Simon telling someone else that he intended to follow Walker home and kill him. Police say the murder stemmed from an earlier argument at a nearby Waffle House in the early morning hours. Deputies responded to a crash on I-95 around 6:40 a.m. where they found Walker's Buick smashed into a guardrail. After firefighters extinguished a vehicle fire, officers discovered Walker had suffered fatal gunshot wounds. Investigators do not believe Simon pulled the trigger himself. Instead, he is accused of coordinating the shooting and has been charged with first-degree murder for his role. Detectives are continuing to search for 2 additional suspects believed to have been involved and seen in surveillance footage. The suspects were reportedly traveling in a black 2012 Buick GS. The irony is unavoidable. The crime, allegedly planned in secret, was effectively narrated to emergency services by the suspect himself before the crime even occurred. And let me just be clear. The fact that I'm putting a murder in here doesn't make the murder humorous.
No.
But the act itself, yeah.
Oh,
so
gosh.
My take, I don't know what's more incredible, the audacity of planning a murder over a Waffle House argument or the confidence required to announce it to a 911 dispatcher without even realizing it. And honestly, this might be one of my favorite Dipshit Diaries stories so far because it hits the holy trinity of bad decision-making: Florida, Waffle House, and zero situational awareness. These are the 2 most frequently visited locations in Dipshit Diaries, and somehow this story managed to combine them and add an accidental murder confession for good measure. This isn't criminal masterminding. This is self-incrimination with pockets. We've discovered bad disguises, worse hiding places, and crimes fueled by optimism, but this belongs in its own category. But dialed intent. The universe didn't need an informant or a witness. It just needed gravity, a touchscreen, and a man who should not be trusted with a phone. If you're going to commit a serious crime, and to be clear, don't.
Yeah.
Maybe start by not recording your plan for law enforcement before you do it.
The only thing he's missing is stealing an ambulance to do it.
Right, yeah. But I don't know what it is about Florida and Waffle House, but
seriously,
God, they're in a lot of these stories.
What is happening?
I don't know. So where does butt dialing your murder plan to 911 rank among the all-time dumb criminal mistakes?
Up there.
Definitely up there.
Up there. Where there is, I don't even know anymore. It's probably at the Waffle House.
Probably. How often do major cases hinge on suspects incriminating themselves without being asked?
Jeez. You're finding a lot of them, so more than I thought.
Yeah.
Oh,
Should phones come with a warning label? May record your worst decisions?
yes. It should be in the Miranda rights now.
Oh, yeah, probably should.
It should.
Except you have to read those before they do it, so...
No, like, Verizon should issue...
If you call 911, you might be arrested?
Miranda right when you get your phone. Like, this phone could record you doing stupid shit. How about you don't do stupid shit?
Yeah.
There we go. But then we wouldn't have
Fun stuff to talk
the
about.
Dipshit's Diary, so... Oh my.
All right, with that, you ready for our weird shit section?
If it could get weirder, it will.
Weird shit.
Weird shit number 1. The phantom kangaroo, Australia's weirdest export problem. The phantom kangaroo is an out-of-place cryptid phenomenon involving reported sightings of kangaroo-like creatures in locations where kangaroos absolutely should not be, including Wisconsin, Tennessee, Nebraska, Iowa, London, Japan, and Oklahoma. Witnesses consistently described a hopping, tail-balanced animal resembling a kangaroo, sometimes at normal size and sometimes reportedly giant, leading to over a century of confusion, speculation, and deeply uncomfortable police reports. Sightings of phantom kangaroos stretch back more than 100 years, and what makes them unsettling isn't just the animal, it's the consistency. One of the earliest reports came during the 1899 tornado in Richmond, Wisconsin, when a woman claimed she saw a kangaroo hopping through her backyard amid storm damage, because nothing says credible eyewitness like a tornado and a marsupial at the same time. In 1934, things escalated dramatically in Hamburg, Tennessee, where reports claimed a giant kangaroo killed and ate police dogs. That detail alone launched this story from escaped zoo animal to what the hell is happening.
Yeah, I don't like it anymore.
The sightings continued. 1958, Charles Wetzel reported a kangaroo chasing dogs near his cabin along the Platte River in Nebraska. 1974, 2 police officers, Leonard Siago and Michael Byrne, claimed they encountered a kangaroo in an alley. When Siagi attempted to handcuff it, the animal allegedly kicked him and escaped. In 1978, 2 men in Washika, Wisconsin, snapped a blurry photo of a kangaroo in the bushes, which somehow made the story less believable and more suspicious at the same time. 1981, Ray Alt saw a massive kangaroo bounding past his sheep flock. 1999, an Iowa woman watched a large animal jump past her cows. In 2000, 4 sightings of a 6-foot kangaroo eating leaves were reported in Lewisham, London. 2002 to 2009, kangaroo-like creatures were reported repeatedly near Miama Mountain in Japan, earning the nickname Miama kangaroo. 2013, hunters in Oklahoma recorded footage of a kangaroo-like animal, sparking debate over whether it was an escaped exotic pet. At no point did anyone ask why kangaroos seem to favor rural chaos and police encounters.
Right?
The most reasonable explanation is also the most boring. Escaped zoo animals are exotic pets, particularly wallabies, which are smaller but easily mistaken for kangaroos at a distance. However, some sightings, especially those involving unusually large animals, have fueled speculation about extinct species like Procoptodon, a giant, short-faced kangaroo that lived thousands of years ago. The theory immediately collapses when you remember Procoptodon was herbaceous and very, very extinct. The police dog incident is the biggest problem. Herbivores, which kangaroos are, do not typically eat law enforcement animals.
Yeah.
Some have suggested a rabid kangaroo acting defensively, a misidentified escaped exotic predator, or less plausibly, a surviving Ecla delta. I can't say these freaking words, but it's a prehistoric carnivorous kangaroo with fangs that died out about 10 million years ago. Cryptozoologists Lauren Coleman and Mark A. Hall proposed that some sightings might actually be devil monkeys, another cryptid frequently blamed for anything hopping aggressively in North America.
Devil monkeys blamed for everything.
To complicate matters further, the Isle of Man has had a legitimate wild wallaby population since the 1970s after a pair escaped captivity, proving that once marsupials get loose, they don't give a shit about geography.
Honey badger don't give a...
My take? I love this one because it's just absurd enough to be believable and just violent enough to ruin that believability. A kangaroo hopping through Wisconsin during a tornado? Sure. A kangaroo kicking a cop during a failed handcuff attempt? Honestly, that tracks.
See, that's so bad.
A kangaroo eating police dogs? That's where I start asking questions.
Yeah.
Also, I appreciate how consistently these sightings end with the authorities saying, well, it escaped, which is the cryptid equivalent of, we tried nothing and we're out of ideas.
Yes.
What really gets me is that no one ever reports seeing the kangaroo arrive. It's always just there, in a field, in an alley, in England, in Japan. Like, kangaroos are teleporting across the globe specifically to cause confusion and leave. If this is an escaped animal problem, Australia owes the world an apology to her. So what is the most believable explanation for kangaroo sightings outside of Australia?
Escaping from zoos.
I guess. I mean, full disclosure, I don't know anything about kangaroos. I really don't know. So can kangaroos live in Wisconsin? Because
I don't know.
Wisconsin knows all about winter.
I feel like, yeah, they need to be warm, but I don't know a whole lot either.
I mean, they have hair, so
yeah,
obviously, you know, they have some. I don't know.
They're a warm climate.
Well, I think Australia is pretty warm.
Yeah.
So I just don't know that a kangaroo could live in Iowa because it gets cold there
Nebraska.
too. Nebraska, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
That's like freaking cold as shit up there.
Yeah. I don't know.
And eating dogs?
Eating dog. I don't like that. I don't like it at all.
And what cop says, there's a kangaroo, I think I'll handcuff it?
Yes, I want to see that. Because, you know, they'll never get out of those hands.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he was trying to put the handcuffs on its legs, maybe. But if he's trying to put them on his little bitty arm things, what the hell's that can do?
It's so sad that people can't see you right now.
I mean,
the arm things.
Yeah, I don't know. So
he'd do better with zip ties, I think. Should have done zip
ties. I think he'd be better off with a rope, like a lariat rope.
There you go.
But I don't know, maybe
into the sunset.
Well, you know, we're pretty adept at, you know, capturing escaped animals on the roads of Wyoming. I don't know about Wisconsin, but actually, I don't know where did the handcuffing incident happen in Wisconsin?
I don't know.
But anyway, at what point does escaped exotic pet stop being plausible? For me, it's eating dogs.
Eating dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, tigers would eat dogs.
Tigers don't hop on two legs.
That's true. Tigger does, but he won't eat dogs.
Yeah. Why do cryptids always...
tangent just now.
Why do cryptids always seem to have a beef with police dogs?
It's the only thing that'll chase them.
Apparently so.
Besides you looking for Mothman.
Yeah, I'll chase Mothman, but I ain't chasing a kangaroo. I think I'm scared of them. They can be pretty freaking
like more
brutal.
Of them now. Have you seen them like box? They're buff.
Yeah, and they like jump and kick you with their hind feet.
Yeah.
It's kind of amazing. It's acrobatic, but pretty violent looking.
I mean, there's a reason why
I wouldn't want to go like
cars in
face to face with them.
Australia have those really big kangaroo guards. They're bigger than our deer guards out here.
I don't know anything about it. All right, ready for weird shit number 2?
Yeah.
The faceless figure of Chester Castle.
Okay, no, I changed my mind.
This is weird.
I don't like faceless things.
That is an actual picture. In 2025, security cameras at Chester Castle captured footage of a strange faceless figure walking in front of the main gates, exactly where the medieval gatehouse once stood. The sighting followed a late-night security call-out in which a normally fearless guard dog refused to leave the vehicle. And the guard reportedly feeling overwhelming dread despite finding no physical intruder. English Heritage has neither confirmed nor denied a paranormal explanation. The incident began like a routine security alert. A guard was called to Chester Castle after motion detection flagged unusual activity at the site. The control room insisted cameras had picked up an intruder and urged a thorough investigation. The moment the guard arrived, something felt wrong. He later reported feeling as though, quote, 100 eyes were watching him. His dog, described as the size of a small bear and typically unflappable, refused to leave the car, cowering and whimpering. When the guard searched the grounds, he found no signs of forced entry, no footprints, no disturbance. The cameras, however, told a different story. Footage showed a humanoid figure with no discernible facial features walking in front of the castle's main gates, precisely over the footprint of the original medieval gatehouse. No one could account for the figure, and no person matching its appearance was found on site. English Heritage has been careful with its wording. They are not calling it a ghost. They are also not saying it wasn't one. The Chester Castle incident emerged after English Heritage asked staff and volunteers across its properties to submit accounts of unexplained experiences. The response, according to the officials, was overwhelming. Among the reported phenomena, a disembodied hand seen at Belsay Hall in Northumberland, unexplained piano music echoing through the walls of Bolsover Castle in Derbyshire, apparitions resembling soldiers vanishing into the woods near Rest Park in Bedfordshire, reports of visitors feeling hands held, shoves from behind, and cold spots in empty rooms. Bolsover Castle alone maintains a ghost book where staff and visitors document strange experiences, some including sketches. Michael Carter, a curator of history at English Heritage, emphasized that these reports aren't just modern ghost stories. He views them as a part of a tradition stretching back for centuries, linking supernatural narratives to ruins, monastic sites, and places marked by conflict or abandonment. From medieval warnings about desecrating sacred land to Gothic literature and Victorian hauntings, Carter argues that ghost stories serve as a way to process history, loss, and the presence of the past. My take? I appreciate how English Heritage handled this by essentially saying, we're not saying it's a ghost, but we're also not saying it's not a ghost. Because here's the thing, security guards know their sites. Dogs know when something is wrong, and cameras don't feel fear, but they also don't imagine things. A faceless figure walking exactly where a medieval gatehouse once stood is either the most historically considerate trespasser in the UK or something that has been taking the same route for several hundred years. Also, any story where a dog refuses to get out of the car immediately jumps several credibility levels. Animals don't give a shit about vibes. If a dog says nope, I'm listening. At a minimum, this is a reminder that old places remember being old, and sometimes they let you know.
Mm-hmm. Always listen to the dogs.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, this security guard has balls of brass, like the size of basketballs, because if I've got a guard dog,
the size of a bear,
the size of a small bear, that is like, this is what they do. They go investigate. I mean, honestly, and the dog is whimpering and like, I'm not going.
Yeah.
I'm calling the boss and being like,
I'm out.
You either get me like a whole freaking crew of people, or you find yourself a new security guard, because I'm not doing this shit by myself. If my dog won't go with me, I'm not going alone.
No.
So how much weight should be given to animal reactions and paranormal reports?
All of the weight.
100%. Like, the dog adds all the credibility to this story for me.
It would be harder for me to believe if there wasn't an animal.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good, creepy picture. It's one of the best I've seen, but, you know, that can all be faked and shit. But a dog cannot, I mean, a dog can be trained, but a guard dog is not going to be trained to cower and whimper in the backseat of a car and refuse to go do its job.
Guard dog buddies would make fun of him.
Yeah. So why do so many apparitions appear in locations that no longer physically exist? I'm right there with, I don't know.
No words, only noises.
So is this about ghosts or about how humans process history and place?
Both.
Yeah, I mean, I think this story is very likely about ghosts. Yeah. Again, the dog.
Yeah. But history falls into that too.
Oh, yeah, man. And I mean, England is so freaking old.
I know.
You know, I mean, all of Europe, we've talked about it a million times, but I mean,
Dad, I'm so scared of flying.
And, you know, it's not like it's any older than North America, the continent.
Yeah.
And it's not like, you know, we didn't have people living in North America for thousands of, but that is where buildings, huge buildings that remain for centuries are still there.
Yes.
You know, I mean, like most of the native populations in North America they were traveling. They were, you know, moving around. Yeah. They lived in teepees. Some lived in, you know, houses essentially, but you know, a lot of at least the Plains Indians were very nomadic. The Indians down in Louisiana, a lot of the native populations, they migrated because they had to, because when you're, you know, eating the food that exists in an area, it's really easy for you to eat it all and it's gone. So you got to move to the next place. And so we don't have that long history of literally hundreds or thousands of year-old buildings.
Yes.
But Europe does.
Yes.
All right, we ready for the next one?
Yes.
Weird shit number 3. The Russian fireball over Lake Rabozero, 1663. In August of 1663, villagers near Lake Zarabazero in what is now, I picked a lot of big
What were you
words.
thinking?
So, in what is now Vologda Oblast, Russia, reported a prolonged encounter with a massive glowing ball of fire that descended from the sky in broad daylight, hovered over a lake for hours, emitted intense heat, illuminated the water to the lake bed, and reappeared multiple times before finally vanishing. The event was documented by a monastery monk based on eyewitness testimony, making it one of the most detailed pre-modern aerial anomaly reports on record. The weirdness. The incident occurred on Saturday, August 15th, 1663, around midday, not at night, not during a storm, but under a clear blue sky. As villagers gathered in church near Lake Zarabazero, they heard a loud noise in the sky. Many rushed outside. Among them was a farmer named Levka Pedorov, whose account was later recorded in writing by a monk, giving the story an unusual level of contemporaneous documentation for the 17th century. Hedorov described seeing a, quote, giant ball of fire descending from the south and moving low across the sky, passing over the church and toward the nearby lake. The object was described as enormous, approximately 45 meters or about 140 feet in diameter, and intensely bright. 2 beams or rays of fire projected from the front of the object. Blue smoke or vapor appeared to emanate from its sides. As it moved from south to west, the fireball vanished. And that should have been the end of it. But about an hour later, the fireball reappeared over the same lake. This time it lingered. For approximately an hour and a half, the object hovered low over Lake Zarabazero. Fishermen in a boat on the lake nearly a mile away, attempted to approach but were driven back by searing heat. They reportedly suffered burns from the intense light alone. Under the glow of the fireball, the entire lake was illuminated to its bottom, estimated at about 9 to 10 meters or around 30 feet deep. Witnesses said the water looked as though it was covered with rust beneath the glow. Fish fled toward the banks in visible panic. The object disappeared again and then reappeared a third time, described as even larger than before finally flying off to the west and vanishing. No explosion, no impact crater, no explanation. So modern attempts to explain the Rabizero fireball have struggled, largely because the event doesn't behave like a typical meteor or a bolide. I don't know what the hell a bolide is, but unlikely. Meteors don't hover, reappear, or remain stationary for hours.
Yeah.
It could have been ball lightning, sometimes sighted, but known ball lightning is far smaller, far shorter lived, and not capable of illuminating an entire lake or burning fishermen at a distance. Atmospheric plasma phenomena. A possibility, though no known natural plasma event behaves exactly like this, especially repeatedly. Or human technology. Impossible for the era. This occurred in 1663, centuries before powered flight or controlled aerial devices. Because the event occurred in daylight, involved prolonged hovering, intense heat, repeated appearances, and intelligent seeming movement along the lake's surface, it has been cited in early UFO literature as one of the strongest pre-industrial anomalous aerial encounters. Importantly, this was not folklore passed down orally for centuries. It was written down shortly after it happened by a monk recording local testimony. My take? This is one of my favorite old world cases because it refuses to behave.
Yeah.
If this were just a fireball streaking across the sky, fine, meteor. But this thing came back twice. It hovered.
I'm done with you,
It burned fishermen. It lit up a lake like someone flipped on God's flashlight. And the villagers didn't describe it like a miracle or an omen. They described it like something physical, something that obeyed space, distance, and heat. Also, imagine being a 17th century fisherman rowing toward a glowing object the size of a modern aircraft carrier, only to realize it's cooking you alive from across the water. That's not superstition. That's a survival lesson. Whatever this was, it was not shy. It showed up at noon, put on a multi-hour performance, and left without explaining itself, which, frankly, is the most unsettling part.
Yeah.
So...
looks like a picture of a dilated eye.
Yeah, obviously this is not a picture of it. This is a picture of
1663.
But this is an actual picture of a fireball that appeared in Mexico.
Oh.
So, I couldn't get a picture of the one from 1663, but this thing happened in Mexico.
I don't believe you tried hard enough.
Yeah, I probably didn't. So, why do so many historical aerial anomaly reports involve water?
That's a good question. Water is tricky.
Like with the whole UFO phenomena, water is involved a lot of the time. There's been
like a
cases of UFOs coming out of the water. Some people believe that they actually have bases under the oceans and stuff here. So I don't know. I don't know what the hell to even think about this, but could unknown atmospheric phenomena account for the heat and the duration that is described?
I think so.
I don't freaking think so. I don't think there's any unknown atmospheric thing that could cause this shit.
It's unknown for a reason.
Yeah, but I mean, we do understand the atmosphere.
Did we in 1663?
Well, we do now. I mean, we read these reports. We ought to be able to say, "Oh, yeah, well, that's just this."
Yeah,
because I mean, it's
the atmosphere is constantly changing.
Yeah, but this is not like This is not like lightning. This is,
I love stirring you up. It's amazing.
I got nothing on this. I got nothing. So and the whole thing of it is that it adds so much credibility to it is the whole monk thing, because he has no reason.
Yeah.
This was way before YouTube and TikTok and shit. He has no reason to make it up and record it like fiction. And I mean, monks were some of the few people that could read and write.
Yeah.
So they were a lot of the times the ones that were recording history, and they were very
degree of trust.
They were very regimented to record exactly what happened. And so I gotta believe it happened probably almost exactly as described.
Yeah.
But I got nothing. I don't know. If this happened today with video, what would we assume it was?
AI.
100%. It's the freaking giant snake in the water thing. So
yeah.
All right, you ready for the next one?
Millions. Have you seen the new one?
No.
It's like millions of them just erupt out of the river. Now that I don't want to believe, but I want to believe the big one. I don't want to see it, but I want to believe it.
All right, so in my apparently sadistic putting together this thing, masochistic, I should say, I picked another really hard one to pronounce. So this is going to be Émilie Saget. That's my best French.
I see it.
So Émilie Saget was a 19th century French school teacher, reportedly capable of biolocation, appearing simultaneously in two places. Between 1845 and 1846, dozens of students at a girls' boarding school in what is now Latvia claimed to see her double repeatedly, sometimes mimicking her movements and sometimes acting independently. The case was recorded by multiple respected writers of the era and remains one of the most cited examples of doppelganger and bilocation phenomena in paranormal history. The events took place in 1845 in Pensionnat of Nuekla, some shit like that, a boarding school for daughters of Livonian nobility. Among the students was Julie, I ain't even try that one, Julie de Gudenstube, age 13, whose testimony would later become the primary first-hand account of what happened. What was I thinking when I put this together?
I don't know.
That year, the school hired a new French teacher, Mademoiselle Émilie Sijois, 32 years old, originally from Dijon. By all accounts, she was unremarkable, kind, quiet, anxious, somewhat nervous, and well-liked by her students. Then the rumors began. Students started reporting that they had seen Mademoiselle, that's close enough, in two places at the same time. At first, the stories were dismissed as confusion or exaggeration, but soon the phenomena became impossible to ignore. During one French lesson, I guess our students take English. Oh yeah, that makes sense. As Chazazé stood at the blackboard writing with chalk, the students suddenly saw two identical Chazazés standing side by side. Both figures made the same gestures, both moved in sync. The difference was precise and chilling. Only one held chalk and actually wrote. The other mimicked the motion without touching the board. On another occasion, a student being helped with her dress turned and saw two Chazazés reflecting in a mirror, both appearing to assist her simultaneously. The most dramatic event occurred when all 42 students were gathered in a large hall working on embroidery. Through the windows, they could see Chazazé outside in the garden gathering flowers. Another teacher briefly left the room, leaving her chair empty. Moments later, Chazazé appeared sitting in that chair. The students panicked and then checked the garden. She was still there, still picking flowers, though now moving slowly as if drained or exhausted. Inside, the seated figure remained motionless and silent. Two of the braver students approached. They claimed the figure offered slight resistance to touch, like brushing against fine fabric. One student passed partially through the figure. It did not react. Gradually, the seated Sajazé faded away. At the same moment, the Sajazé in the garden resumed normal movement and energy. This pattern repeated itself through Sajazé's tenure at the school. Over time, parents grew alarmed. Enrollment dropped from 42 students to just 12. After 18 months, she was asked to resign. Her response was telling. "Ah, the 19th time. It is very, very hard to bear."
Oh, wow.
She explained that she had previously taught at 18 other schools, starting at age 16, and had been forced to leave every one, apparently for the same reason. After Nuekle, she lived briefly with relatives, where even young children reportedly said they saw two Aunt Emilys. Then she traveled into the interior of Russia and vanished from the historical record entirely. Possible explanations. Skeptical interpretations have ranged from mass hallucination and suggestion to misinterpretation of reflections or exhaustion-induced illusions, but those explanations struggle with several facts. Dozens of witnesses, repeated consistent observations over months, independent reports from different locations, physical interaction reported with the apparition. Others have suggested neurological conditions, dissociative phenomena, or psychological projection, but none fully account for the synchronized appearances witnessed by entire groups. In paranormal literature, the case is treated as a classic biolocation event, often cited alongside doppelganger lore. It has been discussed by Robert Dale Owen, Camille Flammarion, and Alexander Aksha. I don't know. But they're all serious writers who treated the account cautiously, but did not dismiss it outright.
The whole next shadow chats, everybody's going to be Tom, Bob, Dave.
It's going to be like C. Jane Run, C. Spot, Jump, all that. You damn right.
Weird names in the next one.
All right. My take. What gets me about this story is how undramatic she herself was about it. She didn't claim powers. She didn't seek attention. She didn't profit from it. She just kept getting fired. That's the part that makes this unsettling. If it were fraud, it's the worst long con game in history. No benefit, no fame, no control over when it happens. Just repeated social exile.
Oh man, again.
Also, the students touching the double and describing resistance like fabric, that detail shows up in far more modern accounts of apparitions, which makes this feel uncomfortably consistent across centuries. Yeah. Whether this was psychology, perception, or something we don't have a language for, one thing is clear. She did not want this, and whatever followed her didn't give a shit.
No.
And that's way creepier than a ghost that just rattles chains.
She's the worst stalker ever.
So why do biolocation and doppelganger stories persist across cultures and centuries? And
because they say everybody has a twin.
Yeah, but first of all, I've never really paid that much attention to the whole doppelganger thing, but that's how I understood it, is you had like a twin out in the world. Sometimes it's described as an evil twin. Other times it's just this does not fit that shit.
No, it doesn't.
And the whole biolocation thing, again, never really researched it. Don't know a lot about it, but I always thought that it was like you could be at, obviously, biolocation. You could be at two locations at the same time, but I've never heard it described as like on two sides of a chalkboard in the same room.
Same location, yeah.
You know, I've heard it described as like, we know this person, well,
on the other side of the planet.
Yeah, like Padre Pio. He's a Catholic saint, and he said that he would be in Italy at the monastery, and he would be appearing to soldiers on the front in World War I at the same time. That was biolocation the way I understood it.
All right.
This shit.
But why in the same room?
I've never heard no shit like this ever.
No.
Not ever.
Me either. And I'm kind of upset with myself for not knowing. because this is right up my alley.
You have to be able to say the names to know about it. That's the problem.
That's true.
Could group psychology explain repeated long-term sightings by dozens of people? I don't think there's any freaking
I don't buy
way.
that at all. Not every one of them has a tumor in their head that shows them the same thing.
Well,
not every one of them. Yeah, no.
Well, the thing of it is if the story would have been one school, one time, then maybe you could, convince me that it was like mass hysteria or something. That should exist.
Yeah.
And in children, it's even more pronounced.
Or
like one kid says, "Oh my gosh, did you see that?" And then everybody starts scaring themselves, and pretty soon the whole bunch is
rye poisoning. They're
like bergot poisoning. Yeah, something like that. But this is, even our own family.
Yeah.
It was like,
there's two.
This is freaking creepy. Auntie's creeping me out.
Yeah.
Both of her, yeah. Freaking no. I don't blame the woman for disappearing in Russia, though. So something like this happened today. Would we diagnose it or would we monetize it?
We'd monetize it.
100%.
Yep.
Yeah.
Monetize it.
I don't know. This one is weird.
I kind of want to dive in a little bit more because I am upset with myself for not knowing.
Have at it, because it's a freaking interesting one. I never do. I didn't research it all that much, but this next one is a little freaking bizarre too. The Jim twins, 2 lives so identical it bordered on impossible.
Well, at least Jim is easy to pronounce.
Yes, thank God. This one shouldn't be bad because it happened in Ohio, so we should be good. All right, so the Jim twins were identical twins, separated at birth in 1940 and raised by different families in Ohio. When they were reunited nearly 4 decades later, researchers discovered that their lives had unfolded in shockingly similar ways, down to names, marriages, careers, habits, pets, vacations, and even their children's names. Their case became one of the most famous examples of the nature versus nurture debate and remains one of the most unsettling real-world coincidences ever documented. So, the story begins 3 weeks after birth. In 1940, identical twin boys were put up for adoption. Each was adopted by a different family, one by the Lewises in Lima, Ohio, and the other by the Springers in Pequot, Ohio. The families knew their children had a twin, but neither knew where the other boy ended up. By sheer coincidence, or something stranger, both adopted families named their sons James. Both boys grew up to be called Jim. They were raised 40 miles apart, never met, never communicated, and had no knowledge of the other's lives. And yet, their biographies began lining up in ways that defied common sense. As children, both had dogs named Toy. Both showed strengths in math and woodworking. Both struggled with spelling. As adults, the parallels became unnerving. Both Jims married twice. First married women named Linda, divorced. Then married women named Betty.
Wow.
Named their sons James Allen, one spelled Allan because, of course, it had to be slightly different. Both smoked heavily. Both drove Corvettes. Both worked in law enforcement or security-related jobs. One was a security officer. The other was a deputy sheriff. Both took vacations to the same beach in Florida. None of this was known by either man until Jim Lewis, at age 37, decided to search for his twin. In 1977...
so he knew he had one.
Yeah, both families knew that they were twins, but neither knew where the other ended up.
Okay. Well, I heard you say family, but then I thought you said they
like kept it secret.
Yeah.
So no, the kids knew about each other.
Okay.
And so he located court records in Ohio and made contact. After speaking by phone, the twins finally met in person on February 9th, 1979 at age 39. The reunion stunned everyone, including scientists. The Jim twins became a cornerstone case for the University of Minnesota twin study led by Dr. Thomas Bouchard, which focused on twins raised apart. Researchers found nearly identical medical histories, strikingly similar brainwave patterns, extremely close personality test results. Their case reshaped how psychologists and geneticists thought about inherited traits versus environmental influences. While no credible evidence supports paranormal explanations, some observers, including Jim Springer himself, described an enduring sense of emptiness before the reunion, fueling speculation about subconscious or emotional twin connections. My take? This story messes with me more than most paranormal cases because there's no ghost, there's no light in the sky, no haunted castle to blame. It's just life lining up with terrifying precision. One coincidence? Fine. Two? Weird. But when you stack names, marriages, kids, pets, habits, vacations, and personalities on top of each other, it stops feeling random and starts feeling scripted. And the scariest part is that neither Jim knew any of this until adulthood. They weren't copying each other. They weren't influenced. They just arrived at the same choices.
And 40 miles apart.
If this doesn't make you question how much free will you actually have, I don't know what will. No monsters, no hauntings, just DNA quietly running the show. So, how much of our personality is inherited versus how much is shaped by experience?
I think a lot is inherited.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about the whole nature versus nurture debate. I really don't. I go back and forth on it, and I probably always will.
Yeah.
But what I do know is there's some weird shit with twins.
Mm-hmm.
Weird shit that cannot be explained by DNA or anything else. And then there's the whole other part of that, DNA. It's like we all have different DNA, except identical twins.
Yeah.
So if DNA is really what is running everything, logically computes that it would
run them the same.
Right.
Yeah.
But then even twins that grow up knowing each other and all that kind of shit, identical twins, and there is a difference between the identical twins and the
Fraternal.
Yeah. Identical twins, a lot of them have this weird ass connection. Like one gets sick, the other feels it. One gets hurt, the other feels it. Like one is scared, the other's scared. Like it's this like psychic connection that they have. And I don't think science has ever come close to explaining it.
I don't think it will.
I don't think so either. But it is so normal. It happens so often that I don't know if anybody actually denies that it exists because it's just reoccurred over and over and over. I mean, this story,
I think it's just accepted,
is a whole new level, but there is a different connection between twins, identical twins, than any other humans in history and like on the planet.
I'm going to be in trouble for certain people hearing me say this, but who was the guy that studied in Germany, Meg something?
What did he do?
Studied twins in Germany. I want to say it was in Germany.
I don't know.
Crap.
I have no idea.
I'm sorry. To the Google.
You're going to have to do it quick because we're about to the end. But at what point do coincidences stop being coincidences? This is not coincidence. There's no freaking way. I mean, I will go through that one more time because it is absolutely surreal. I mean, the kids shit, whatever, they named their dogs the same, that's, whatever, but they both married twice and both women had the same names? How the hell do you describe that? Like,
how do you do that?
You're not attracted to somebody because of their name. It's who they are. It's a person. So it's not like you just decide, gosh, I really want to marry somebody named Linda. And then once that falls apart, you're like, well, that didn't work. I think Betty. Yeah, Betty is a good one to marry. And then to name their sons the same?
Mengele.
Oh, Mengele. He was a freaking Nazi.
Yeah, angel of death.
Yeah.
He studied twins in Germany. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, when you were talking about doctor, I was not thinking him.
No.
But So anyway, it's just so bizarre. And if it happened today, would people accept genetics or look for something stranger?
I think there'd be a lot of people on the fence.
I think if it happened today, honestly, it would be more easily discounted because social media, because there is a possibility that they could have found out about each other as kids and connected with each other and been like, hey, let's carry this shit on and become millionaires out of this some way or whatever. We're talking about growing up in the 40s and 50s. Yeah, they didn't have a means of getting together and coming up with this shit. So I think today that would be one of my first questions.
Very valid.
Go through their social media history. I don't believe this shit.
Yeah.
But I don't. I mean, when it comes like this story, I don't know.
This is weird. The Jim twins, are they still alive?
I don't know. I didn't see that, but I mean, very well could be. They'd be, in their 80s, but
I would like to talk to them.
Yeah, wouldn't it be interesting?
It'd be great.
And what a neat story that they found each other. You know what I mean? Because the one said he felt like something was missing until he found his brother.
Because you'd think it should be.
It might have been, but it was covered by Ripley's. Because that's where I got a lot of the information is Ripley's, believe it or not. So I know that it was covered by Ripley's. So
I would love to sit down and just hear stories.
Wouldn't it be fascinating?
Yes.
But like I said, what a happy ending. They found each other, and they found each other young enough in life. And like I said, I don't know how long they lived or if they're still alive. I don't know, but at least they were in their 30s. So they had, and they were relatively young and could get to know each other. And I don't know. It's just
in family reunions, though. Jim, what? Alan, what?
Right. Just Betty, what?
I know. You'd have to number them.
Everybody would have to have a nickname.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all I put together for us tonight.
All right.
So, you got anything to add?
I don't.
All right.
I don't, actually.
Okay. Well, if you like what we do and how we do it, I want to remind you about our Adopt a Victim program, the Dark Dialogue Collective, both of which can be found at www.darkdialogue.com. Also, read and share our victim stories at that same website. Support the show. You can take advantage of members-only perks and direct support at patreon.com, coffee.com, and at Substack. If you want to contact us for any reason, critiques, kudos, any of that shit, case suggestions, all of it, you can do that at info@darkdialogue.com. Be sure to like the show, share the show, leave us a review, hit the like button, hit the share, hit the bell, hit everything. Just hit everything.
Legally.
Be sure to check out all of our other shows on the Dark Dialogue Network. All of that information can be found on our website, again, darkdialogue.com. And if you have nothing else,
I'm just trying to find out how many shows before you can say all of that in one breath, because it feels like that's what you're attempting to do.
I don't know. I think 2 or 3 more, maybe.
Okay.
We'll go for 2 or 3 more. Yeah.
That's all I got.
Anything else?
Nope, that's all I got.
Okay. Well, with that being said, I hope you all have a wonderful night.
And be safe.